Hey, babes. So you guys get to see me twice live in one night. But this special Bay Talk that I'm going to do tonight is I want you guys to pretty much start to share it and start to kind of join in on the discussion. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. And the thing is, what we want to do is, as a parent myself and watching the news, and I just know what this pandemic has been to a lot of folks, I want us to kind of talk about everybody is forgetting to check in on the parents, on us. It's a lot that we've had to manage, a lot that we've had to handle. And I posted in one of my group chats the story, unfortunately, of the father that killed himself in Davie and shot his daughter as well. And it was unfortunate that that's what he had to resort to because of whatever stress, mental health situation he was kind of going through. And it hurt. Like, it was frustrating. You know, some people would call it coward, but it made me realize, and I started talking with one of my really, really good friends who, you know, helps and talks to people as well, Miss K. And I said, she kind of tapped into the things. The fact is that parents right now need some help. They need some tips, some resources, some ideas. So she's gonna join me on the discussion, and I want you to tag another parent, tag another family member that you know. Listen, I have one. Okay, I have one that I alternate weeks with. And I sometimes get overwhelmed. So I couldn't imagine, I couldn't even fathom you guys that have multiple. After two, my brain goes, Lord, play the iPad, just let y'all be. And I said, you know, let's have a parental or parent mental check-in. So I'm going to bring in tonight's guest, Miss K. She can introduce herself, and I'm going to let her say a little bit of, you know, what she does, what her profession is, and, you know, a little bit of her background. Hey, Kay. There you go.
Hey, Mr. Babe. How are you?
How are you?
Good.
I'm so excited. Okay, so let the folks know about yourself.
So my name is Miss K. I work in mental health therapy with children, families, couples, parents, domestic violence, everything. And like Media Base said earlier, we were having a discussion about the family in Davie, and we started talking about parents and what support and help they need right now during this time that we're in.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, the other thing, one of the biggest things that I want everybody to start to take away from this is help is okay. Help is out there. And help is needed. So do not shy away from help, you guys, because it's key, it's critical, it's part of what's needed. And just think of how, you know, I always say this, think about the times where a situation happened and you think back, and if you would have asked for help, if you would have talked to somebody, what would have happened, right? And I think about that all the time. So that's what we want you guys to take from this. What if, you know, I take in these tips? So first things first, are you ready for back to school? As a parent myself, no, I wasn't. Literally this morning, it hit me when I was reading the email from school, and I was like, what date is this for? I kid you not. I was like, what date? Wait, is that like this August? Like, you know, right? This August?
Right.
I go to find the date. I look at the calendar. I look at today's date. There was like meet and greet, August 12th. I was like, what the calendar? I was like, oh, that's so. I said, KK, that's so.
Listen, Broward County Schools, which is, I work with Broward County Schools a lot. I have a lot of clients that I go see at Broward County Schools. They have been so lax. I don't know what's going on, but like they calling parents the day before, telling them about this parent university that they have to log in from 6:30 to 8. But if you have one child in elementary school and two kids in middle school, then One day is going to be elementary. The next day is going to be middle. If you're not an English, first language English, then you got to come back on the 17th because you got to, it's crazy, but I feel like they're not providing enough support for the parents and also the children. The kids are not used to sitting at home and doing this whole long day in school. And the parents, are you guys ready to be there to help? You know, imagine when I go to the school, the kids are like raising their hands. They need help. They don't understand. Teacher, 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 teacher.
You're like,
It's going to be you. It's going to be mommy, mommy, mommy. Not only mommy for snacks, but now mommy help me with this homework. Mommy help me with this science project. And,
listen, because I be like, that ain't my name. Don't call me. Don't talk to me. No. But
imagine, like, if you're not ready and getting yourself mentally prepared to be in that role, you're playing a new role now. You're mom, but during those hours, you're gonna be like teacher's assistant /
everything.
Yeah.
Chef, you the manager, you the
cafeteria lady,
the cafeteria lady, the PE teacher, you the hall pass person that helps them go to the bath.
Listen, you're gonna be all that. You're gonna be
the room parent.
And mind you, like, I have some kids, when I go to school, they have a special bond with like the lunch lady, let's say. That bond's gone. They're gonna talk to you. Who they gonna talk to during lunch when they used to talking to their friends?
You're working. Because a lot of parents, like myself, I do everything from work. So I know when I sit there, sometimes I'm in work mode, I zone out. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, did I pee? Did I eat?
Right.
That's for me.
Right.
I do this for these other jits. Y'all good? Y'all pee? You're like, oh, I got a parent.
Right. And then you have to remember, while you're in your zone, your child may not be in that zone. You're not going to be in the zone at the same time. It will be ideal to say, like, I had a family that would say, when it was just the beginning of this virtual learning for the end of the school, they would just go together at the same time. Okay, let's get ready. Let's eat breakfast. And we all on the computer until 1 o'clock. Because that way it made everybody be in that mind frame. But, if
that's a tip I might adapt. I didn't never think of that. I might have to adapt that, especially
scheduling
now.
Is gonna be key. Huh? Scheduling is gonna be key.
Oh,
yeah.
Key. So let's talk about parenting during the pandemic. What has that really been? What has that really looked like? What have you heard that has consisted of?
I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. I worked with children and their families, and I've lost so many clients, not because of anything. It's just because the parents wasn't able to manage
adding that additional session into
right. And then, I work with children, so they have to be refocused. Did you hear what she said? Are you paying attention? Okay, let me sit by you. Like, they were overwhelmed. They would rather say, I cannot handle this service because I need to work, or I need to just find a way to manage all this. And it has been hard for the parents. They take up most of the session time for their children, talking to me about how
they need their own.
Yeah, they need their own. They'll spend all this time talking about the child's behavior, what the child's doing. You could tell they look and they sound overwhelmed. They sound like,
save me.
When is this going to be?
They're like,
right.
They could only.
Yeah, they'd be like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So I could only imagine what parents are going through. Like you said, you have one, and you also have support.
Yes.
Imagine if you have one, you don't have support, or you have two, and your support is limited now, because everybody's feeling overwhelmed.
That's been one of my like biggest things. And I'm a person, I empathize a lot. I am very like compassionate. And I'm always like, oh my gosh, how could this be? And so when all of this started, there was a part of me that was like, oh my gosh, the kids. But then there's also the part of me that was like, oh my gosh, these parents, because
It's true.
like you're like, okay, I love you. I passed that fire station stage with you, so I'm with you.
Ain't no refund.
Ain't no refunds. We in it, good or bad, But I think, the other part of it, which is hard, not even just for parents, for everybody, is the uncertainty. And a lot of the worries that I had was the parents that, had to figure out just everything. Let's be real. The kids were home.
Mm-hmm.
The little suckers are hungry.
Mm.
Listen, by the third, can I get a snack? And it's only 10 a.m.
Boy, if you don't get up,
if you don't get up,
imagine that's without school, So they're gonna need snack. They gotta go to a bathroom. And honestly, the kids, when I see them at school and they don't want to do work, that's when they gotta go to a bathroom. They don't feel good. They want to take a nap.
All the excuses.
All the excuses. Now you're gonna be at home where your bedroom is like right there, where the couch is like right there, where the kitchen and your snacks is like right there. You're not gonna have like a different setting where you're going to the cafeteria to eat, or you're going to the restroom that is to do that, or you're going out walking to the playground, or you're going out walking to the media center. Everything is gonna be in one room that you've been in this whole time already because of quarantine. You've been confined. You know your house really well. But now you expect all of this to just transition into school, back to work, and this, no aftercare, no before care, like
nothing.
All of this. And they're just saying, oh, join a session for 2.5 hours to teach you how to be a parent / teacher / teacher assistant / tutor / cafeteria lady / front office / the person in the hallway that's like your role. Anna, hold it down. Your role is changing now.
It's dynamic. It encompasses so much. And you know what sucks too? It's a lot of parents, and it's almost like kids. Kids found going to school as an escape. There's a lot of parents that they love their kids. They at the end of the day, they will hold down their household, but they really saw leaving the house, getting away from it all, as a bit of a reprieve. And when you have lost that because you have to be home, and you're like, oh my God,
right?
How do you not? And that kind of leads me into like the financial and health stress that a lot of parents have had to deal with, whether your job was one of those that laid off, or you can't, because the other thing, right? People forgot that when the world reopened, allegedly, the world did it. Not everything reopened. Businesses went to reopen, but at a smaller capacity.
Right.
So that job, that location that employed 100, now is only probably employing 30.
Or you have the ones that used to work 40 hours that only work 15 or 20.
Everything's gotten cut back, and so you're at home. The financial stress, and I've been there. Financial stress will wear you out in a whole nother way that,
Yeah.
And I feel like these are the times, and definitely, like I said in the beginning, take away that it's okay for help. These are the times to say who's offering any kind of assistance. We can't let our pride or ego, because you cannot let that be more important than making sure your sanity and your peace of mind is good. Because if this, what is it? your sanity is almost like your center of the earth. Like if that's not in a good space, nothing else will properly revolve around it like it as it should.
Right. If you're in your head and you're constantly worried about money or your job or, other things, how you going to supply? These kids keep leaving the lights on. They eat all the snacks. If you're in your head with all of this, how are you going to focus on making sure your child has the proper education? How are you going to make sure that your children are getting activities that are, that are bettering them, that are making them more active, that are keeping them in shape? You don't have time for that because you're worried about, oh my God, my job went from 40 hours to 20 hours. My bills are still the same. It's not like everything got cut. You still got the same bills.
The apartments did not last long. Okay, I'm sorry.
They didn't last long. And that second stimulus, they're prolonging. And I'm pretty sure they had a meeting on August 7th about the stimulus, but they had one last chance to postpone it again for a month. So now you're talking from August 7th now to September 7th to find out if there's going to be a second stimulus. During that time, you're going to have bills. So now everything when you used to have in order is just ordered right. It's just boom. And then you're left alone to figure it out. You don't have to. There's help out there. There's people.
Talk about the help. What are some of the help?
Well, you're gonna have to figure out what's happening with your finances. Okay, so your total bills, how much you making, budget, right? Budget. And then there's certain cities that have different little programs that they're doing to help. You got to go to your city of whoever and find out if they have any assistance with financial help with rent, mortgage, and things like that. Because some cities are offering some kind of financial help.
They are.
As far as coping skills, talk to other people. If you don't have the professional help or the means to get professional help, talk to other people and say, well, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. How is it looking for you? Oh, it's looking for me this way. I see that this way worked. I tried this one that didn't work.
Have a community.
For yourself and you
create a community.
So he was
Hold on. You froze a little bit on me. Hold on. Can you hear me? Oh, wait. They took her out on me, y'all. They took her out on me. So she coming right back. So if you're tuning in, you guys, we're having a parent check-in, mental health check-in. We know right now it's not easy. We know the kids are driving you crazy. So we want to have discussion. We want to talk about tips. We want to be honest about our situations and just, any questions you have. Kay does deal with this, especially just talk about coping skills. So she back. The aliens took her, but brought her right back.
Right back. They was like, we're going to let you finish. We coming back for you later.
So we were talking about what does help look like, but there was something, what was it? It seems like you said it earlier. Organizing is going to be key.
Yeah. Organizing, scheduling is going to be key because if you don't know what's coming next, what's happening for today, you're just going to go on the flow of things and it's going to be overwhelming because now you have things to do. When school starts, your child's going to have things to do. Miami-Dade County Schools says on their website for parents, their support to parents is make sure you're checking in on the website. Make sure you're checking, correspondence. And it's like, oh, okay, now I got to do that. So set a schedule And it's going to be easier for kids. Kids need schedule. Remember, kids at school, they have schedule.
Facts.
They come in the morning, breakfast, recess. It's locked to the dismissal. Get your kids on that same kind of schedule. Not being so rigid, like, 9:55 to 3:05, but
I just imagine a parent put a kid in detention. You late 5 minutes going to
corner. You gotta write 10 lines. You don't have to be so rigid, but kids need to know what's gonna happen next. Okay, mom, I'm done, because they're gonna bother you. Mom, I'm done with school. As soon as they're done, they're gonna slam their laptop down.
Like a domino.
Right. Like a domino, they're gonna slam it down, they're over it, and they're gonna be like, okay, mom, what can I do? What's going on? Oh, I'm hungry. Have a schedule. Make the schedule with them. So that way they are part of the planning and they know exactly what's going on. And you can ask them, okay, so after school's over, do you want to take a break or would you like to have a snack? And
I like that.
Involve them. Make a little schedule, make yourself a little schedule, and go with that. Make sure you include activities to do with your kids. Make sure you include alone time. You include educational time to eat, just so that the kids are not, because think about it, this virtual school is until October, right? If they have to go back to school and you're doing it your way and another mom's doing it their way and then they have to bring the kids back,
it's chaos.
It's gonna be chaos.
Jumanji. Okay.
It's gonna be chaos. And that's gonna be another thing. Y'all know all 2020, it's been like, cue the Hornets, cue the Hurricanes.
It's obvious. Oh my God. Yeah, we so
if you don't prepare yourself now and think about it and start getting into that mental status that I'm going to have to manage myself and my children. If you don't get into that mode, next week on the 18th, you're not going to sleep.
They gonna sleep, but
they gonna
to a shit show.
Just don't even count that first week as a first week, because it's gonna be.
It's a trial period.
It's gonna be a trial period. It's gonna be a 3-day trial period. I just don't see how that's gonna work at all with that. They're doing it until October, and if you just let your kids do whatever, then I will have a lot of clients, because then y'all gonna be calling me, my child's having behavioral issues because they don't want to listen to the teacher, or they don't want to follow the rules, or they don't want to do this, and caseload's gonna be booming. But you start first, like.
So that takes us into the discipline and boundaries.
Right into there.
To create that, first of all, if you haven't been strict about that before, realistically, this is the time. Because a lot of parents are now facing this what your teacher was talking about. This is what they said that you did and you were doing. Oh, okay.
My child don't act like that at home. What's happening at school? Oh, y'all been together. Wake up call, ma'am. Ma'am, right. Get it together now. Sit down with your family. Have a meal. Sit down with your family. Have that discussion with the kids and ask them, how do you feel? You're not going to be going to school. You're not going to be
check in with the kids.
Check in with the kids. And in turn, that will give you ideas for yourself. Oh, I didn't know he was worried about not seeing his friends. So how can we do that? Are we going to set up play dates via FaceTime or something for them to see their friends? Because I've been asking my clients, do you want to go back to school or you want to do virtual?
And what do they do?
They want to go back to school, social life. They want to be able to eat with their friends. They want to socialize. Their siblings could be your friends, but your friends
them little get on your nerves too.
Right. Your siblings first get on your nerves.
Today
right?
you lock them in the closet, tomorrow you let them free.
Right. And then you have the other kids. You have the other kids who are like, I don't want to go back to school. Those are the ones that they have an academics problem. They didn't have any friends, so they're fine with not going to school.
Leave me here.
But if
No way.
right, they're okay with that. But if you don't organize yourself to say, okay, how are we going to handle this? How are we going to set up boundaries to say, okay, right now we're in school mode. Okay, right now is aftercare, because you're going to have to kind of like,
And it's hard because the days, they run so, like, literally, like, I was thinking about that today. Like, the day started, I sat at my desk to work at home. She's next to me here on the couch. And then I feel like I blinked and it's 5 o'clock. I was like, let me put some Tostitos in the oven. Like, and she's good.
People are not going to tell you they're hungry like that. They're on their game. They're good.
But like I've even, like, one of the things that we've implemented, her dad reminded me, she's back on her bedtime. She's back to 8:30 p.m. bed. She's back on, we went to Barnes and Nobles. Boom, you got to incorporate reading before bed again. You got to, trying to get back to these things, because if not, it'll be like Wild Wild West. But at the end of the day, for me as a parent and parents, and I think that it's part of the stressors that we have.
Mm-hmm.
We stress ourselves out at times, whether we want to admit it or not, about not being enough parents, about not parenting enough. We don't want to have the discussion. No parent wants, I don't mind saying it. I worry about that all the time because, I'm used to be very hands-on with my child. And because of everything and how it's this uncertainty, I'm like, am I parenting enough? Am I being as diligent as a parent as I need to? Am I being so lax? Am I really becoming that parent that allows their child to be device driven through everything the whole day? And I sit there, I'm like, am I? And some days I answer, damn, I am. How do I fix this? So the next day I'd be like, we doing this today, we going to the beach. I'm getting light skinned. I don't know, something. Incorporate something, but it's hard. Especially, like I said, you throw in the multiple kids. You throw in, let's say it's a single mom. I will say, I know I'm blessed. I have support. I don't check in or I don't pull in a lot of my support as much as I could or I should. But I know there's people that don't have anybody to call. I know, there's moms that something happens and she got the whatever. There is nobody she can call. And a house full of kids that realistically she can't even afford to leave them alone because who knows what'll happen. That type of stuff would just drive you crazy. But one idea that I had, and I mentioned when we were talking about what to talk about, was, if you don't live with the other parent, consider renegotiating your parenting plan for your sanity. Most parents, school is the driving factor, right? So they got to be at school, so they got to be primarily with mom. Mom, because they're in school. I'll get them summers. I'll get them
weekends.
But if it's virtual, communicate with the other parent what they need to do and negotiate. Hey, can you take them 1 week out the month? Can you take them especially if the parent is willing to and the other parent wants to. Forget about the baby, the new girlfriend. Forget about that personal stuff. Forget about that, because what's important right now is you.
Right.
And if he says, hey, let me get them, a week or 2 weeks, and then you get them back. If you know your child is safe, not in harm's way, just because you don't like the new girlfriend, throw it away. That's personal. That's not.
Yeah.
Take that break.
Yeah. You have to learn to use your resources, especially if the resource is the parent, the other parent.
That's a resource.
That's the resource. Like, that's alive and well and is able-bodied. Oh yeah. Like, no, you have to, because you're going to put on so much on yourself. You know, it's everything combined with the time, feeding, the financial, the activities, your
weird.
it's you're doing yourself a disservice by saying, well, I'm not gonna let him, or I'm not gonna let her.
I don't like her.
No. Give yourself that break so that you could reload, recharge yourself and say, okay, when my child or when my children come back, okay, what do we have going on? And then you have to share that load. Use your resources.
Share the load. You know what? I even just clicked in my head. So, like, for example, regardless, you got the father or the mother, right? But I know a huge resource for me is my ex-husband's mom is outstanding. My mom is another. So, you know, if she's off a week or she can, there was a week that she could, and she took KK, you know, she's to spend time with her and to just be, so, you know, think of those additional, now giving, you're not going to keep putting them off to every third cousin. You don't go down the family tree.
Oh, don't make a schedule like, okay, Monday, media bay, Tuesday, the whiskey chick.
You know, and you're like,
no. Don't pass on your kids, but also, you know, give, if somebody comes in like, oh, I want to take the girls to the beach, go, because you're gonna need time. Remember, like you said, the kids are used to being at school, waking up early, being at the door 7. Sometimes they don't come home till 6.
Yeah,
that's 12 hours right there.
That's real.
That's now is on you. So use your resources. See who you got. And like you said, like, you know, you don't want to be like, okay, it's Friday, go, 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 go. But you do want to, you know, set up some stuff. Maybe you want to set up a play date and say, okay, well, maybe your cousin or one of your friends could come over, so that way they can entertain themselves if it's an older child, or they can have activities, or you could set up something for them, you know? But find a way that you're organizing something for the kids and you're also going to get some me time. You could set up a movie with snacks and pillows and blankets and teddy bears and da-da-da, and you let them do the movie.
Have your moment.
Yeah, and then you go have your moment, you know? But if you don't renegotiate your parenting plan, it's not the same. You're not going to use the same techniques you used last year or earlier this year. We're in a pandemic. We're virtual. We're quarantined.
Load. I really like that term. Share the load.
Share the load.
Y'all share the bed to make a little something. Share the load. Okay. Okay. I got it.
And stop, you know, get your emotions out of there. Stop being petty. Oh, he ain't giving me no money last week. Share the load, especially if you're overwhelmed. If you got it, cool. If you can handle it, you got it. There are some people out there.
Money at times is not worth the sanity.
No.
That's where I can put it. Just give yourself some you time, especially if you got multiples. And then, hey, if you got different, hey, if you could at least do half off. I hate to say it like that, but let's be real.
That happens. It's the reality, right? If one could go and 2 got to stay, okay.
Take what you can. I'm just saying.
Take it, because that 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. is on you now. You're gonna have to find a way to like diversify your time and make sure that you're not losing yourself. And it's not gonna be just for that first week.
No, you gotta create a schedule
until October.
If that, the way people, the way the Roro going.
No, Rona is like, hello, what's good? Where y'all at? What y'all doing today?
What? It come in. Well on.
What God.
Move.
Yeah, no. Rona be like, let me in. No. So
now, I wanted to ask you, what would be signs? What are some cues? Like, I know for me, okay, so what are some cues for people to realize I need to get help? I need to either get a therapist, or I need to set up telehealth. I need to, go on Facebook, find a group of mothers or parents that are trying to keep their sanity as well. One of the biggest things is to not feel like it's just you. Like, you're not the only one feeling or going through this. And you're not, you guys. Like, there's so many families, so many parents out there. And I know for me, when I start having I don't want to talk to the world days, that's my cue to go, okay, Anna, get your shit together. You need a moment.
You gotta check yourself. Check yourself. Right.
Check myself. Check my temperature. Get right. So that when I do have her, I'm not in a snappy mood. I'm not creating more mental and emotional harm to her by my own passive anything that I'm trying to pass. Because I know I've done that before. Shoot, my boyfriend will be like, he'll pull me to the corner, like, bring it down. Check yourself a little bit, because you get out on her. You know, and it happens. And it's natural. Okay. I want people to understand it's natural to feel that way. However, there's the key in there is knowing how to check it, how to, you know.
The key is self-awareness. You have to know yourself, and especially during this time. So you may start feeling like a pressure here, like right on your chest. That's probably a sign that you need to check in. Okay? When you're sitting there, you're supposed to be doing work, and you're just thinking about things.
You're like in a cloud, in a haze.
Yes. And it's just like, dang. It's time to check in. When you can't sleep at night, it's probably time to check in. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, I can't sleep at night because I'm thinking about kids going back to school. It could be about anything.
Yeah, sometimes it hides. Sometimes the stuff kind of hides under other stuff, and it layers up because it's been stacking.
Right. It layers up. I'll give
you another one. Here you go. When you sit there and the K-cup machine breaks and you just start to cry because it feels like everything's cut. Listen, it could be one little thing that triggers you. It's like a dam because you've been holding it on.
Right. And you're like, I got this. This is minor. I got this. No, this is minor. I got this. I can fix it. Okay, I'll handle that later. And then you go to do something
so simple and minute.
Right.
And lose your shit.
And you lose control. It's because you haven't been using your support. You've lost you lost the use of your coping skills. You've been internalizing it for so long. Who knows how long? First of all, because the longer, the bigger the blow up. So who knows how long you've been holding it down? Once you see that, or once you see you kind of like jittery and you don't know, let me do this. Oh no, I gotta do that first. You check in. When you snap at your kids, mommy, did I tell you?
Yeah.
You need to check in.
They be like, I was just asking. You ain't got it yet.
Right. When you find yourself going back and forth with a child, you need to check in. You should not be going back and forth with a child. And if your child's going back and forth with you, you need to check your parenting.
That too. That's 2 levels.
Right. That's a 2-level. That's a 2-level thing. But be aware of yourself. Compare yourself to when everything's going good and you feel in control. Compare yourself, your behavior, how you are, your affect, how you feel. When all things are going well and you feel in control. And then compare yourself to when you're anxious and you're worried and you have it, you have a lot going on. Once you see those two, it's like the rain and the sunshine. Okay, clouds are gray. It's about to rain. That's your cue. Right. It's about to rain. But before that happens, get your umbrella, get your rain boots, get your coat, go inside.
Call to somebody, to have a session, reach out to, one of the things that I found out and I didn't know, call in if you have an employer, you have benefits, call them and see what they're offering. Like, I found out through my job, we have EAP, which gives us a set amount of free sessions. But I found out in addition to that, they were allowing me to do sessions for my household. They were calling them household sessions. And I just needed to put the person in my house name and send an email. And they were getting a batch of therapy sessions that they were able to utilize. And I was like, and I sure enough use them because I believe in the EAP to the 5th time and use them.
See, the EAP is not there for just, oh, let's put an EAP there. You know, it's called Employee Assistance Program. So it's there because they know your job it might be overwhelming. They know that your personal traumas or your personal experiences may affect your job. And we hired you because you're qualified and we need you to do this job, ma'am. But before you do that, just talk to somebody right quick. So they have those resources there. You got to know that the EAP is as confidential as any other.
It is. I've done it for like 2 years.
Yeah, because sometimes you're like, oh, it's with my job. They're going to know. They're going to know. It's totally confidential. Your job should not know anything about it. And if they do, write a letter. Okay. But you have the EAP. If you have parents on Medicaid, you can get therapeutic services if you have Medicaid. If your child has Medicaid, you could easily, especially my parents, children on Medicaid, you see something going on with your child or yourself, you hurry up and you call because Medicaid has those. Every year, everybody that has Medicaid has 26 therapeutic session a year to use. So you don't use it, you don't need it, but they're there.
26.
26. 26. And
can I get on Medicaid?
We'll
talk about that after.
Another talk, right? You have 26 sessions, and if you're really going through a hard time, and let's say you need more, you need twice a week, you're going through it, or your families, they will give you that. So now you're gonna go from 26 session to double.
Oh wow!
In the fiscal year, so don't skip that.
Wow.
You know, so you get your EAP if your job has it. So ask about it. That's free. You're not paying for that either. Then you have Medicaid, whether you're a parent or a child. If you have Medicaid, you have those sessions. Other than that, you have your insurance. You might have co-pays, and you have out of pocket. You got sliding fee, and like you said, there are groups out there.
Yeah.
Groups out there. Find a group that you can join to just be like, because there are other people going through the same thing. But don't go through it on your own.
And just stay to yourself.
Because let's say you had a set of coping skills, and that's all you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't talk to anybody else, how are you going to learn new coping skills?
Correct.
If you don't read about it, how are you going to learn new coping skills? So I say this, once you're aware and you know the signs that it takes, okay, these are the signs, I need help. Get your little notebook, a little pad, something simple where you could write down, when I feel sad or when I feel overwhelmed, I need to take a break. That break looks like I go to my room, I lay down, no phones, no nothing. Or I go outside. Or I phone a friend who I know I could, really express myself. When I feel like
my kids are express your feelings in a way.
Right. But you got to have that stuff handy. Because if you don't have it handy, in the midst of it, you're not going to be thinking about what I need to do, because you're going to be like, these kids are getting on goddamn nerves. But if you have your list and be like, okay, maybe we could do a fun snack, or maybe we need to just go walk outside, or maybe
take y'all to the beach and let the sun wear y'all out so y'all can go to sleep as soon as we get back in the house.
All that. Maybe they need an early bedtime. I don't know. But you need to have your resources here too. When I'm feeling like it's too much, who can I call? Okay, Media Bay. Like that way, oh, right. You already know, oh my God, I feel so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. You're right there standing in your face saying, call Media Bay. Oh, let me call Media Bay. And you call Media Bay, you have your conversation, then you feel a little better. You gotta know the signs that says and you have reached your limit and you passed that mug. You gotta have your resources and be like, okay, when I reach my limit, I passed it.
What am I gonna do? How do I go from there?
How do I go through it? Does drinking a cold glass of water help me?
I thought you were going to say mine, but carry on.
Go ahead. What?
I thought you was going to say a cold glass of water. I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, water. I said water, but wine too. It might be wine, but go for that. Whatever works for you, you know, you have to have those resources because, like they say on the plane, you got to put that mask on you, then you got to help others. If you're overwhelmed and you don't have any resources and you don't know if you're coming or going, and those kids are still kids, you're going to have a hard time. Mm-hmm. You're going to have a hard time. You're going to find yourself with a DCF case.
Talking to Kate. So, you know what I was, you when you were talking about the sessions, it reminded me too, you know, as the adults, get for you, but communicate and have the discussion also with your kids and figure out if they need, you know, to see somebody. Because if you guys can get on the same page together, then there's a different understanding because you've had a discussion. Listen, Corona is here. I don't know how long it's going to be here. And this is what our life is going to look like. You know, because I don't think a lot of people have had that discussion, honestly, with the kids to understand. So I need you to work with me while we work through this till we figure out how to get back and work back outside. You know, and get them the help they need so they can figure out how to cope and deal so that you both can be on the same page. Because if you don't know how to cope, how are you going to tell them how to cope?
Bingo.
You're like,
if you don't know how to cope and your coping method is, oh my God, I don't know, and you're yelling at kids or you're yelling at people, your kids are going to learn when we are in an issue or in a situation, go crazy, go wild, yell at people. You know, you need to teach your kids the proper way. And that's a whole nother conversation because as adults, we do not have enough conversation with kids. And it wasn't until my job, you know, I've always worked with kids, but now like therapy is like, you're really talking to kids and getting in their heads. And I'm just like, oh, wow. Wow. Like the things that the kids say, you need to have conversation with your kids. You need to let them know, how do you feel about being in quarantine? How do you feel about coronavirus? What do you think coronavirus is? You know, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? Get their little point of view because kids, they watching everything. They're listening to everything. And especially now you're in quarantine, you're talking to your friends. You do it.
Everything.
They are listening to everything and they're going to be telling me all your business. Okay. But my thing is, talk to your kids, involve your kids. Your kids might need help and you don't know it.
Exactly. And that's the shame when you're, and you know, that's where it's like people don't get, it's almost, it comes full circle because then that's where that regret or resentment of yourself comes from. If something happens to them, we were in the same household this whole time and I didn't know that. You know, now you beat yourself up, you create this weird cycle and look where we're at again.
Right. If you're not putting it out there and if you're not having discussions with your children about how they feel, they're not going to come talk to you about how they feel. They're not. So now guess what? You're over here dealing with your issues. Your children are suppressing their feelings because they don't know if they could talk to you or not. You over here crazy.
Bro, do I? She just looked at me. Never mind. Walk away.
Right. Because it's like, they don't want to tell my mom that I'm kind of feeling uncomfortable, but she's over here screaming about a light bill. I don't want to get yelled at. So I'm just going to stay put and just stay on my way. Meantime, they're doing the same thing you're doing. They're building up all the stuff that they want to talk to you about, all the stuff they're feeling. And then it's going to be manifested in behavior, misbehavior, not nice behavior. Then you're going to be like, oh my God, what happened? Then you're going to want to discipline your children severely because you think they're just being annoying. But meanwhile, they had all this stuff built up that they
never tapped
they
into.
never talked about.
Ooh, child. Well, it's past our bedtime, so we try to have a bedtime of 10 p.m.
Yep.
Turns out, tippy toes. It just gets really crazy. But I just wanted to have this discussion because I wanted to just start it early and have people kind of share, and just remember to it's okay. Get some help. Tap in. Communicate. Find some people. For like the biggest thing and the biggest thing I want people to get out of their heads is the fact that you are not the only one going through this right now.
Right.
Those my friends know that call me, I keep it real. I will say some stuff about parenting and you be like, damn, but that's how you feel too. But that's why you call me again, because you feel like you can relate.
Right.
Hey, trust me, some days you be like,
I don't like these kids. I don't like these kids.
Listen, I don't like kids, but it's just it's okay to have a safe group. Don't say that too much around the kids.
Right. But that's a sign too that you need help.
Yeah,
these kids getting on my nerves.
Because they be like, Mama don't like us. Yeah. And it creates another issue. So find your group, find your people, text, listen, trust me, there's another mom wishing that somebody would text her about how these kids driving her crazy. So she could talk to somebody about it together so that don't nobody think that she's super crazy, but she could just talk it out. It'll be a better space.
Yeah.
So, please, people.
My thing is have your list. Have your list of things ready that you could do. And you could sit down with your kids and come up with a list of activities that you feel you could do. What kind of activities y'all would want to do? And then you just go in there and you pick, like, okay, it's, y'all get to pick an activity. Which one we doing? You're not wasting time trying to figure out what the activity is. You're already talking. You're just picking one and then you're just setting it up. So it's basically, what's the word? Like coming up with your own support kind of like toolkit.
They're helping you come up with the things that they want to do, so you don't have to play the guessing game.
Or you don't have to be like, well, you're gonna do this, and they're like, kids have feelings too. They don't always want to. Well, you're gonna watch TV, but Mom, I kind of want to just like sit down outside. They're kids too. You remember sometimes you're like, oh, I feel like eating pizza. Oh, I feel like going to the beach. The kids have those same feelings.
So check in with them.
Check in with them. Check in with yourself, then check in with your kids.
And that's how we are going to be in a better space as we go back to school and figure out how to get out of the road.
Media Bay, I think we're going to have to check back in with the parents like a good week and a half after school start to see how this goes.
Be like, y'all survived? You there?
Hello? You made it? That's it?
If you like my family, my parents, did you send them to Haiti or Honduras? Did you?
Listen, them kids was going to Haiti, and then when they closed the border, imagine if you have kids that they send to Haiti kids.
You stuck with them?
What? You better come up with your toolkit to make sure these kids have enough activities that they can do, that you know what's going on, and then they know what's coming up next. You got to set yourself up, prepare yourself in advance.
So, do you take sessions?
I take sessions.
Okay, so if people are interested in reaching out, where can they email you?
You can email me at KETTIAD@mahcs.net. We'll talk then and see what's going on,
Okay. The first step is to reach out and try to get some help, and she can guide you to resources and go from there.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I have so like some awesome friends, y'all. I just that brag. But make sure you share, like, comment. Like I said, this is on Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook. So whatever is your preferred platform, or if you know somebody that isn't on the biggest thing is if you're not on Facebook or any social media platforms, it is on YouTube. That's the biggest thing for me. So el YouTube, oh yes, el YouTube está ahí. So go to the YouTube. Share, like, comment, subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. Thank you so much, everyone. Make sure you check in. See you guys probably tomorrow and Thursday. I'll see y'all later on this week. All right.